driving all night, my hands wet on the wheel. There's a voice in my head that drives my heel. It's my baby calling, says I need you here. And it's 4:30 and I'm shifting gear. When she is lonely and the longing gets too much, she sends a cable coming in from above. Don't need to phone at all. We've got a thing that I suppose red I love. We've got a wave in the air.
Well, here we are, mid-February, which means that the days are starting to get a little brighter compared to over a month ago, and we're getting one step closer to spring. This is actually one of the milder days that we've had in quite some time, considering it's been like almost minus 20 degrees Celsius with the wind chill. But today, we're getting close to the positive temperatures, and I will just say welcome to another edition of the Wanyuki Cheese Cafe. I like doing some recording, have some new place I wanted to check out, but I thought, let's do some familiar territory because it feels like it's been a little while since I've done a video. And here I am on Laurier Avenue East, around the Laurier East part of the Plateau Mont-Royal. Even though Saint Laurent Boulevard is one of those routes I've done countless times on the channel, this is another one of those streets I feel like I'm going to be able to hit up from time to time, just because of how central it is to the plateau, in addition to how close I could get to Rosemont if I want to go on to Masson, etc. But it's also because there's a couple of other coffee shops around here I like. Noble Cafe, which was actually right by the subway station, but also in Gamba, that's just a little further ahead. In case that rings a bell for you, I did cover that probably around like end of September, and it was broadcast in October, when I did a walk along here, eventually up to La Belle Tonki en Beaubien. I'll put a card in the top right corner if you want to revisit that episode, but for now, I don't really have a route. I just wanted to walk around, see where my feet take me. But before we continue the walk, here's my suggestion for you. That's right, click that subscribe button below and put the notification bell on, because that way, if there's a new video to view, you're going to get a pop-up on your phone. Also, give me a like. Likes help promote the channel. That's helping.
Can I touch you? Are you out of touch? I guess I never noticed that much. Uranium lover, I'm live on your wire. Ooh, come and take me, whoever you are. He's a lot like you, the dangerous type.
Just the booster that I needed. Decided not to do an Americano or Canadiano. I decided I just need a small amount of coffee, so got myself a tall espresso, single shot with a bit of extra milk in there. Also extra water too, that's what a tall really is. So I'll continue my way eastward while I'm working on this, then decide where I'm going to eat and where I'm going to be grabbing a pint. Just want to enjoy the outdoors and the sunshine while it's still around. Well, I guess if I want to keep things simple, I am right here along Papineau Avenue, which is the very same route that I took from that episode I was telling you about earlier. So I guess what I'll do is I'm going to be heading north, and that could give me some easy access back into Masson, maybe Rosemont Boulevard or Beaubien, which has a number of spots I could go grab a drink at. Either way, fun shall be had today. Okay, here's some familiar territory for me, Gros Zeppa, which I stopped here a couple of times last year because I wanted to get like IPAs and all this, or the St. Ambroise New England IPA. But what that also tells me is that as I went up Papineau, I'm now along Rosemont Boulevard. So, if I was to go back here, that's where I would be finding Père Marquette High School, which is a school that hosted the Ukrainian school I used to go to when I was a kid. But if I was to go further to the east instead, I noticed that Taverne Les Torchers and also the restaurant, Le Rosemont, that I visited probably 2 years ago, I would say. And I did cover that on the channel, where I did a walk from Park Avenue, got a coffee at Olympico, and came up over here. I'll put a card in the top right corner for you if you want to revisit that. Now, see if I stop up along the way here, or if a bowling spot is more appealing for me. I don't know how new this is, but Canal Cafe or Duck Cafe on Rosemont seem to have opened up relatively recently. Or at least that's my guess about it, because I only remember seeing one somewhere around Hochelaga. I guess it's a bit like Pista, where they're branching out and they have a few locations. Yep, here it is, Taverne des Torchers. Once again, I only know of one location I visited before, and that was the one that's on the Plateau around Mont-Royal Avenue. Although this one seems to advertise it being a smokehouse, which I don't recall the other one being, since the food is really only available after 5 p.m. But the beer selection is kind of nice. Combination of Quebec beer and Labatt 50. Although when I first started going to La Torche, that was already, it was actually Laurentide that was on tap instead. Things have probably changed over time. If I also go further along Rosemont Boulevard, eventually I will be getting to Le Rosemont, but I'm also thinking this could be an idea for a future episode where I do a full walk along the street to see how every part of the town, changes around. A little bit when I was along Jarry Street, where I went from Villeray to Saint Michel to Saint Leonard and then into Anjou, and it got a different vibe on each part of the neighborhood. I'll put a card in the top right corner if you want to revisit that one. But all that to say is, maybe this could be a future video, because just as a recap, if you go west of Saint Laurent Boulevard, that is actually going to become Van Horn Avenue. But eastward, it's Rosemont Boulevard, and then it continues all the way down up until L'Angely in the east end. I know I've done a part of the walk before, but could be a fun route. But regardless, this is Louis Aymon Street, and I know that Chez Roger, one of my favorite bars in the area, is just a little further north. So I think I've made up my mind. I'm going to start off there. I gotta remind myself that every time I have my camera in the cold and I come inside, warms up, creates condensation, and then it just causes a mess I have to keep wiping up. But hey, like I said, I decided to come over here to Chez Roger once more. So in case you haven't watched my previous episodes, I did cover this a few times. Like, one of the major visits I had done was when I visited all the areas that my grandmother was living around when she first came to Canada, kind of way to document her history and by extension my mom's history. I'll put a card in the top right corner if you want to watch that one, if you have about a good hour and 20 minutes, because that one was a longer episode, but a labor of love. But here's a recap. This bar has actually been around since 1940, which is kind of crazy because it's one of those that's going to be around almost a century old. A little bit like if you go to Chez Baptiste on Mont-Royal Avenue, that one has been around since I think 1924. So it's actually 100 years old now, if not a little bit more. But it's almost crazy because if you have family that live around here, almost feel like this could have served, 3, maybe 4 generations of people. But I come here for a couple of reasons. There's the beef tartare here that's pretty awesome. It's very similar to what you get over at the bistro here. And I've heard in like a lot of Facebook groups that this part of Rosemont, like over here, has one of the best tartares in the area. And I even like the beer selection too. It's a combination of local stuff and even some classic, dad beers like Laurentide. And as far as I can tell, it's one of the only places that does have Laurentide on tap. The other big ones are going to be Le Trou du Diable and Normandville. Now, because I was in the mood for this one, Normandville is one of the ones from Brassard de Montréal, which I'm drinking right now. It's one of those that the name, the images, it's all based on areas within the city. So Normandville is appropriate because the symbol on the can is the old incinerator that's around Rue des Carrières. And it's a hazy IPA, my style, and kind of a way to pay cheers to my heritage. So cheers, everybody. Happy Saturday, and I suppose technically happy Valentine's Day, because I am recording this on Valentine's Day weekend, so it's kind of appropriate if you want to celebrate that. Me? I have my own thoughts on it, but I'll talk about it maybe a little bit later. Wrong holiday. I'm not the Grinch, and it's not Christmas. At least I don't think it is. You know, to tell you the truth, I didn't even realize there were Laurentide pint glasses here, but one thing that kind of gave me a little bit of a chuckle was the back side of it that says frette ou tablette. It's a vocabulary that if you don't live in Quebec, you're probably thinking, what the hell is that? Frette is like a slang word here that means cold, or tablette. It's pretty much mean it's going to be warm. It's a expression I remember hearing from a few friends that would say, you know, warm 50 or 50 à tablette, which is what it's implying. Now, I don't know anyone who would want to have their beer warm, because I always feel like it's got to be cold from a tap, it's kept in the fridge, and you drink it on a hot summer day. Warm, something tells me it's not going to be as pleasing. But that's just my 2 cents. If anyone wants to correct me in the comments, they could do that too. Now, one of the other things I actually enjoy doing if I'm here on a Sunday, which is rare, 5 to 7, they have a live jazz night, so you get to see like a little jazz quartet or jazz trio that's playing some music, which I do dig. And then just see some live shows or music, I'm down for it. It's a great vibe. There's also another place that did jazz too, or I think still does. La Succursale that was on Masson, which is now Les Sagris, they also do a Sunday jazz night. I don't know what it is about the end of the weekend that calls for that kind of music, but I'm digging it. Oh yeah, by the way, if you want to see what Les Sagris is all about, I'll put a card in the top right corner, and you can revisit the episodes that I did. It was probably around, end of September, when I went there and eventually went back to La Belle Tonquis. Yeah. La Belle Tonquis is like one of those places I'm visiting again and again. It's becoming a regular place for me. Now I'm just going to jot this down so I don't forget the card. Great IPA as usual. There's one more thing I forgot to mention too that I probably told you about countless times on this channel. One other reason I like to come here is if I want to have something to eat, but just like have a small snack, they do have some great home potato chips. So it's not like the ones you get in grocery stores where they're so thin. They make them in-house, they're sliced thick, and they come with a really good ranch dressing to dip on the side. You do pay a bit more, but I always said if I pay a bit more and it's a good bit of food or product, I'll take it. But now that that's done, I feel like I'm going to be doing another round here before I hit the road. And as always, what I like to do here is I like to start with a Normandville and then finish off with a pint of Laurentide. Because let's face it, it's the only spot that I know, or one of the only spots I know that has Laurentide on tap. And it's almost something that my dad would have drank back in the day. So his style of beer would have been Labatt 50, as I talked about countless times. This, Old Milwaukee, Wildcat, which, as far as I can tell, I don't think it exists anymore. So I guess it's the way that I'm paying tribute to him right now. So, cheers everyone. And well, I guess if I want to go back to my Polish roots, na zdrowia. Delicious. Oh yeah, my Valentine's Day rant. Not so much a rant, but more like my thoughts, and it's a way of doing the world according to Nick. I'm really not a big fan of that holiday, to tell you the truth, and it's for a couple of reasons. I always feel like that it's the same way that I look at New Year's resolutions. There's 365 days in a year. Why would people want to just wait until New Year's Day to say they want to make a change for themselves? You could say it's summertime, winter, I want to make a difference. Just to go up and do it instead of wait until New Year's Eve or New Year's Day. Same thing for Valentine's Day. You want to have a good time with your partner, like your wife, spouse, common law, or whoever, just do something nice any day of the year. Valentine's Day, to me, it's almost like Hallmark, Carlton, or whoever the fuck is saying that you got to do something now to celebrate love, like that's the one day. Do something right, like what is the implication? Do something right all year, but then forget about Valentine's Day, then oh my god, you're a horrible man. I don't know, just the way that I'm thinking about it. Not necessarily the fact that I'm still single and, you know, seeing everyone else as a couple is making me think a lot. It's just my thought process. Anyways, that's my ramble slash rant slash edition of the world according to Nick, or world according to Wandering Yuki, if you want to go by my, by my euphemism. But I guess I'm not a double entendre. Actually, if I am a double entendre, I don't even want to think about it. So, great couple of beers over here as usual. I did say that I like coming here on Sundays on occasion for a jazz night, and because I have a long weekend due to Family Day, which is not usually a long weekend in Quebec here for different reasons, but because of my industry, I'm able to get that off. I'll take it, regardless. Had it been for well, I guess I'm losing my words, but I guess I want to say, like, had it been a wander on a Sunday, I would have stick around here for some music, but I don't know, this was calling my name on a Saturday. I figured, do what I can. Now, I'm here on the Beaubien Street East again. I'm probably going to be going back towards the metro, and there is a part of me that's thinking that I am craving some more, like maybe some ramen with the poutine cheese on it, so I think you know exactly what I'm going to be doing. So once again, it's just like that Laurier vlog to La Belle Tonki. I'm going to be repeating it again, so hit the montage.
But why does it always seem to be looking at you with you looking at me? It's always the same, it's just a shame, that's all. Turning me on, turning me off, making me feel like I want too much. Living with you's just a putting me through it all of the time. Running around, staying out all night, taking it.
Okay, that didn't work out like I had planned. It looked like there was a huge group over there in La Belle Tonki and line to get in, and it doesn't look like there was any seats left at the bar, which means I'll probably have to say that for another time. What can I do? Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, and I guess sometimes you do lose multiple times at the same restaurant. But I guess it's a good thing that there's always a line, because it means it's popular enough that it's still going to stay open for a long time. So I guess I'll just figure out where I'm going to eat instead. I need to have a plan B. Okay, so I guess that was kind of a bust being able to go to La Belle Tonki and realizing there's too much of a lineup to get in, but at least there was a second opportunity for me to go somewhere else. Itamea, it's a sushi slash Asian cuisine place I've been to before, and I thought, I've shown it off before on a short, let's do a full episode and show what I'm going to be doing around here. I don't really do sushi as much on my channel, and one thing I'm hoping I could do in the next year is make my own sushi at home, because it's pretty straightforward. If you have the sticky rice and you have the right type of fish, like raw fish that's designed for sushi, with vegetables, rolled in seaweed with the right kit, you can do it. But I guess I'll worry about that later, because I want to do some fried noodles with some shrimp and vegetables, which is a nice combination. And of course, I'm just doing a glass of water here because this is not a brewing place, and the way that I see it, I could do the meal with some hydration and see if I could do a finisher somewhere else. Because luckily, I got my usual spots around Plaza Saint-Sebastian, not too far from here, and we'll see how we're going to end the night. But first, we need grub. Looking good over here. So what I decided to get for myself is what's called the nid d'oiseau, which is French for the bird's nest. And the reason they call it that is because when you look at the noodles over here, it's a bunch of fried noodles, but then it's arranged so it kind of looks like it's a bird nest where everything is sitting atop of it. We get a whole bunch of varieties of it, like with vegetables, beef, chicken. I'm getting mine with shrimp, because I'm a huge fan of shrimp. I don't really do it as much, to tell you the truth. Like one of the big times I would do shrimp is, I would say if I'm doing a jambalaya, or if I'm going to be doing a pad thai at home. And actually, if you want to see how to do a jambalaya, I'll put a card in the top right corner and you can revisit how to make it from scratch. It's a pretty straightforward episode, straightforward meal, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Time to get some food. Yep, I dig it. Great stuff over here, and relatively healthy, I guess you could say, because there are quite a few good steamed vegetables. Broccoli, carrots, zucchini, probably bok choy in here, among other things, so I'm definitely gonna dig it. Not a bad meal that was had over here. I like the bird's nest over here because I like the crispy noodles that get soft when you mix it with the sauce at the bottom, and a good amount of vegetables too, so all around a good meal. It may not be my cheesy ramen that I like to get, but I'll save that for another time. I'm pretty sure once it becomes warmer enough that the terraces are going to be installed, plenty of room to go outdoors or indoors. But anyways, I think I'm going to be finishing up somewhere else since I am close to Plaza Saint-Hubert. Could be Wonder Bar, it could be Nacho Libre. All I can tell you is it's been a fine weekend. So everybody, thanks for watching this latest edition of the Wanyuki Cheese Cafe. So if you like what you see, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button below. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoy my wanders, the stories, everything that comes with my videos. And if you have any ideas for future episodes, leave in the comment section and I'll see what I could do. Until next time, take care and enjoy the ride.